We have two different types of pump packages. You have pump package 1, which has the intake at the bottom for clear water, and then we also have what we call pump package 2, which we generally use for rainwater harvesting. So you're not taking the dirty water from the bottom of the tank, but you are taking it from about 100 mil below the floating ball in here, and then that draws it into the pump. Both pumps are set up exactly the same way, which I'm going to show you now. With part of the Divatron pump package, you actually get this inside the box. We won't generally use this because we use a standard 1.25" hose barb, which goes directly into the Tricaflex. This is quite important that you make sure you put the PTFE tape onto this part here, clockwise, so it makes sure it doesn't come off whilst you're tightening it up. You have to put a few reels on it to make sure it's nice and secure. And then what you do when you screw it into the top of the pump, you must make sure this is on tight, because what will happen if it's not, because it's a pressure stat pump, it will actually start seeping water out, and then the pump will kick in again as well. So just make sure this is tight. So screw it around, and then use your water pliers to make sure it's nice and tight. Now that you've got the hose barb in position on the pump, the next part is to actually put the Tricaflex hose right down to the bottom of the hose tail. Very hard sometimes to actually push the Tricaflex on here, so especially in the cold weather. So we generally would just give it a little bit of a heat up with some warm water, just for a few seconds. Then once that's just got a bit of heat into the hose pipe, then you just literally just push that down, and then as you can see, that slides on so much better. So at this point, you can obviously slide the clip over on this far side, take it down, and then we tighten up the hose clip. Once this is all secure, you can drop the pump directly into the tank. Don't pull the cable, pull the Tricaflex hose, and then just literally drop the pump into the tank. With the cable from the pump, you can then just put a simple M20 gland into the side of the tank and take the cable outside. So the next side is you then cut a hole in the side of your tank to put your tank connector inside, which basically you take the nut off the tank connector, push that through, and then tighten up to give you a 1-inch thread on inside and outside of the tank. Just tighten it up with the water pliers. Just give it a nice tight squeeze and make sure that's nice and secure. Now we've got our tank connector connected up with a 1-inch male on the outside and a 1-inch male on the inside. Is actually connect the pipe work with the tank connector. That's using a swivel connector. So all you do, you screw on your swivel connector. No need for the PTFE tape because there's an internal O-ring or seal on there. Give it a good, make sure it's nice and tight, and then all you do, you take the female thread here, connect it to the male thread, and then just make sure it's nice and tight inside. So just make sure that tank connector is nice and tight, so it doesn't give you any movement on there when you're reconnecting the swivel connectors. So nice and tight. You've got two options. Then you've either got the straight connector or the elbow, so it depends whether your pipework is coming in from underneath or you're going straight across on the outlet. We're just going to use the straight connector on this occasion and just literally use the swivel connector so it makes it nice and easy to secure it. Then use the water pliers just to give it that extra seal, and then you've got your connection ready for your 32mm MDP connection as well, which obviously just screws onto the outside part. Again, just need to do it up so it's nice and tight again on there as well. There's no need to put the PTFE tape on here because there's an internal O-ring as well, so it's a nice easy connection. Then you've got your access to your 32mm MDP pipe, which then will take you off to your manifolds.